go. I got it. Got it. Got it. Welcome to What's Up Universe for Friday, May 26th. Oh my gosh, we are at the tail end of this intense May energy. It definitely has been challenging to navigate. We've been on a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, feeling a lot of pressure, we could say, from the cosmos in helping us to not only do some deeper healing, thanks to some pressure from Chiron, but of course, in terms of us being able to really move forward into a more expressed or full expression of ourselves in our lives. So again, a lot of letting go, a lot of healing. It's been a really bumpy ride, and I'm excited, and I'm sure you are as well, because we have a fresh changeover of energy happening as we move into later next week, as we move from May, of course, into the energies of June. So it really is, we've had lots of invitations. It's been, as I said, a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, the highs, the lows, and you've probably been feeling a lot of doubts, a lot of insecurities, maybe even in terms, of business related or in service. You might even feel like things have been stilted or brought to a stop. That definitely, has been a part of these, the current, so to speak, of the energies that have been underway for May. Now, that being said, we've also had a lot of increase in terms of not just our spirit connection and working and aligning with our guides and our angels and our team as a whole. There's been a lot of incoming guidance, a lot of direction, inspiration, because our creativity is being boosted or was boosted. The creative self, to be in creative flow with the universe, really directing our thoughts, being very conscientious, spiritually aware, and spiritually mature as we are navigating the challenges of our day-to-day world, our day-to-day life, and of course, those deeper recesses of our own healing that is always called to task in order for us to show up and be the clearer, more open channels, more purposeful within the way that we're directing our lives, but also, of course, more purposeful and clearer for those communication with those higher realms of consciousness. All right, so as we move here into this energy of June, oh my gosh, we are in what is referred to as Gemini season. Of course, it's the season of me. Anyway, so as we go into this, really is about communication. We're moving into higher recesses and higher access points of communication with the unseen realms of consciousness. So not only are we always put to task, with whether it be through Mercury. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. So this is where, again, where Mercury comes in. We're always be Mercury retrograde, as things go through, where we're being reflective, we're looking at communicating, how we're showing up, speaking from our heart, speaking to our needs, speaking our truth, etc. Now that we've got this influence of energy, as we move into this particular energy now, this is going to be all about that communication, which means the relevance of our external world and our relationships, making sure we're clear, we're being conscientious of how we're showing up, where there's almost like an increase or a necessity for us to speak to things that are out of balance, speak to our boundaries, et cetera, et cetera. So things can still be a little bit, there's a lot of healing, I'm going to say, in what is the relational factor of our lives taking place in the physical world, and how we relate to ourselves and that full acceptance of ourselves and all those doubts and insecurities, those even the belief systems that we hold about ourselves, what and who we are as mediums, etc., is a big component here as well. So this is, we're going to see this taking place and taking form over this next week for sure. But as we come into that new energy, I'm going to talk more about the new energy of June, of course, next week as we gather for our next conversation. However, we look at this now, the increase of communication, where we have this movement, so to speak, of the cosmos that is directing clearer, concise, and more in-flow communication with the unseen realms as well. So remember, as I always say, what plays out in our physical world, it directly impacts and correlates to what is happening with the non-physical world as well. So through this time period, not only have we been, working within, I would say, a lot of the energy from what would be our lower spiritual centers in terms of the physical aspect of our life is now being heightened or moved, we could say, into the higher, into our higher energy centers, allowing spiritual energy centers, allowing us to have that enhanced communication with the other side, increase. Now, with it also comes, there's activation within the solar plexus, which is allowing for, you're probably going to be feeling this week, where you might be, having maybe a little bit of tummy problems, or, digestion, etc. You might even have, cravings, or, even just butterflies in your stomach. There can be all kinds of things as that solar plexus is becoming more and more empowered, so that we're able to speak our truth, that we're able to be these clear and open channels, but also helping us in terms of what would be any empathic overwhelm, that absorption. We take it in through the gut, right? That's why we feel sick to our stomach, or that's why, we sometimes, when we want to protect ourselves, we might find ourselves putting our hands over, standing with our hands crossed, or our hands over our belly. That's one of the ways where we can recognize that we are in absorption of some of the other or external energies that are out there. So we're going to be feeling a lot of activation within the solar plexus. That being said, this activation is what's allowing or helping for a diffusing system, so to speak, of the empathic absorption from the outer world, so that we can become more tuned in, more tapped in, more clearer in terms of our connection, but more empowered in who we are within our mediumistic purpose as well. So that energy is rising. So it's rising from the physical. That's where it's coming, those physical energy centers that now are boosting and moving it to those higher energy centers. Now, this is where it gets pretty interesting for us over the next few days. So here again, these now, as this energy moves from the lower chakra systems, the lower spiritual energy centers, as I like to refer to them, into the higher, it's going to be fueling our creativity. It's going to help us to, we're going to have a desire to share, a desire to speak out, a desire to do readings, a desire to move forward with launching our programs, a deep, deep heartfelt desire to be of service. Now, again, remember that solar plexus is being activated. So we're being empowered in that. And of course, from that solar plexus, which allows us to speak our truth and to really help us to be, grounded in who we are and activating. You're going to be feeling this rush, this need to be able to share and communicate and be who you are and help other people. That empathic aspect, that spiritual empath, really gets a boost over this next phase of energy. Now, here again, we look at not only are we looking at these higher chakras it can be a little bit challenging, especially if those higher energy centers are out of balance. So, again, my recommendation here is to spend some time, regardless of what level that you've been, from level 1, level 2, as we work through those higher energy centers, and even, in level 3, as we start working through the subtle body system, as you take some time over these next few days, and really allow yourself to work and balance and align those higher energy centers. So if there's any blocks, or there's anything that feels a little bit imbalanced, if you're getting headaches, maybe you've got pressure in your ears, look at the way of nurturing your physical body as well as your energy body over these next few days as well, because this is going to help you to really launch, so to speak, and have within this alignment, but to launch in terms of this increased potency of purpose and connection. This is such purpose-oriented energy, like truly it is. And so you're going to be having a deep desire to honor your call, and even maybe an increase of push from the non-physical worlds for you to step in, or step out of your comfort zone, for you to really step in and, of course, be who you are. Now, again, what is so interesting as we come into this now, Saturn has also moved into Pisces. We understand and know that Pisces is one of the most psychic signs, right? And I want to say psychic, but also one of the most interactive with the non-physical world, because again, we're looking at a water sign. So all of those water signs are increased and have these natural tendencies to be interactive, with the unseen world. Now, not only is this, Saturn is the planet that kind of brings us into purpose. It helps us to take a deeper look at who we are, what we're doing, what we really want, what we need to take responsibility for, etc. And we can look at that from what is our very day-to-day physical world. But when we look at it from a mediumistic perspective, not only is there an aspect in terms of helping to heal and shift through some of the karma that we've been carrying through lifetimes, or the work we've done in other lifetimes, but you're going to see a lot of past life flashes coming up for you. This is a great time to do past life healing, a great time to be doing, moving into the Akashic records, getting information, diving in to get clarity in terms of what's going to help and support you within your mediumistic journey within this lifetime, that greater calling, so to speak. So here again, this is an increase. This is also going to, Pisces, we can say this water sign, this is about the light and the dark, but it is about the unseen world as well. So this is where our passion and our compassion come into play. Remember, as mediums, as I say in level 1, we are the compassionate healers, right? Meaning in cooperation, and the passion, a deep desire to help other people through our gifts and abilities. So here again, which means we're, the increase of creativity coming up, the co-creation, the creative flow, creative projects, our desire to take, again, these things that we've had on our heart that feel so, intangible, and bringing them forward and making them tangible. This is no different in terms of those connections with the unseen world. There'll be this free flowing, this opening of energies that really is going to allow us to have heightened interaction, clarity, and more importantly, as I said, this is the energy, because Saturn is all about the karma, so as well, that responsibility. So again, anything that has been blocking you, bringing you down, anything that has been creating a little bit of an imbalance, even in those energy centers, all of that is going to be heightened and I would say activated within this next week here as well. Here again, the energy might feel a little bit heavy for you, but you're going to see that the water aspect. So that's where again the emotional body is being so triggered in these energies. That's what we've been feeling even as we've come into this last week of energy. We're already feeling how this Piscean energy and how it's affecting us, and the increase, of course, of our empathy, or our spiritual empathic abilities, the increase of the emotional body. But all of that is what is raising, as our vibration is raising, which is helping us to feel so much more tuned in, much more sensitive. But the increase of clarity, I want to say, of course, we know as mediums, we go beyond intuition, but the intuitive, the psychic abilities really, really are being amplified. So anything that has been restrictive for you, that's been holding you back, you're going to see that a lot of this, we're being invited to take action, action towards honoring who we are, and of course, this scope of the work that we are called to do in this lifetime. Now, also, we look at what's really exciting as we come into this tail end of things. Again, I would say anything. I want to go back to this energy, this Piscean energy, before I go into the next thing here. This is where we're being invited to step up. We're being invited to step in, even though things might be feeling, a little bit challenging. It's got the potential for that, of course, for us, but we're really being invited to deepen our connection to the unseen world, deepen our spiritual practices, deepen our connection and alignment to our higher self, so that we're able to almost become more of the observer to the reality, of the collective around us, and more in tune with the unseen and the inner workings and inner understandings at that a deepened soul level. So that's also very predominant within this as well. So you're going to see that these next few days, especially if you've been feeling stuck, stilted, you've got brain fog, you've been indecisive, you haven't, been able to feel like you've been moving forward, you're going to see this is the energy that brings you into flow, and you can expect more clarity and more movement forward. So of course, as always, ensuring that you're doing your best to, co-create with the universe and the powers that be, so that you're able to bring forward and to manifest the things that you're looking to bring into the world, into form for yourself, and of course the things for ourselves that become in service to others seem to have the most, I would say, potency of the manifestations that always take place. All right. So what I also want to discuss here as well is we also have a star system. Now, this is called the Aldebarian Gateway. Now, again, we've talked about it before because you've been tuning in for a long time listening to me talking about this, but it's where the sun is aligning with what is the royal star, the Aldebarian, and it's a portal. It's a high frequency energy portal, and this is the Aldebarian star, royal star, is where it's said that our souls go right before they reincarnate back to Earth. So it's like a preparation. It's a resting place. It is where we maybe gather and this space to look at what our lessons are going to be prior to coming, the contracts that we have, etc. At the soul level. So it's known for that kind of the predominant aspect of what is purpose. Okay. So here again, what's so beautiful is that in our ability here over this next phase, where, as I said, upper energy centers are being activated, where the invitations to be in alignment and connected to our higher self, the higher realms of consciousness, as we move in this energy, the Piscean energy that's also helping to open up those pathways and those gateways. This portal opens up to us as well, which is here is our ability to channel is immensely activated. The increase of being able to do that, there's a sharper, more direct, I mean, the deepening of our soul senses, the deepening of our connectivity and activation that's taking place, as well as the increase of accessing higher wisdom, higher counsel, more chance, so to speak, for us to really tune in and access some of the guidance, etc., that we are looking to, we have been seeking, we've been asking for, etc. So this energy is like all of the guardian angels, so to speak, that are out there in the vastness of the unseen world, are not only protecting and watching over us, but they're bathing us in this energy that allows us to really be connected, to understand our potentials, to move forward and through the fears, the belief systems, the things. This is all about this Aldebarian star system is all about not only our ability to manifest and be successful within our lives, and not just career oriented. I mean, successful in relationships and successful in health and successful in joy. All of those things are a part of it, but there's an increase in terms of confidence and surety. And I would say, not only, I mean, our consciousness raises because of it, but it's really, really helping us to make our way and align us with what is, what our purpose is. Why did we incarnate? Why did we say yes to being in physical form within this lifetime? So it's like there's a constant download, new and inspired ideas, insight, etc. It's like we are having direct conversations with the universe, direct conversation with these high, beautiful beings that are really looking to help and support not only us in our lives, but of course, humanity as a whole. So what's really also really cool about this is that, as I said, this is that Piscean energy where I said, this is the time to do past life regression, access the Akashic records. This energy in conjunction with this opening of this energy portal is so heightened for us to be able to access, to channel, to bring forward that information. So again, I think it's really, truly exciting that of how we really are being so taken care of, and we have access to these powerful and helpful beings, so that we're able to bring our lives into congruency with what it is we truly want to be, do, and have, and honoring what is that greater purpose. Now, you will find, as I said, sometimes this energy is challenging, which means that the mental body, so the mental mind, your thinking, your thoughts, you might see that the mind is super busy. The again, we have, we have Gemini, we've moved into Gemini season. We have this influence. Mercury rules the mind, right? So it's going to be lots of thought. And now we have the star system that's opening up. We have all these beings that are looking to talk with us, to help us, to assure us. So it can be, again, where bring, when the mind gets really busy, drop into your heart. Find your breath over this next week. Look for things as you feel the challenges of the outside world, and maybe you're even going through some more emotional challenges. Whatever you can do to stay aligned, expanded, connected is going to be so fruitful for you. It's going to allow you to be more present in your life, more present, more aware, and maybe not as stressed or as anxious or as uncertain. So if ever there was a time to start your meditation practice, and I'm telling you, I hear it from everyone all the time, I can't meditate. As soon as I sit down to meditate, my mind goes crazy. Well, guess what? Your mind is going to go a little bit crazy underneath these energies when you go to meditate. However, remember, as mediums, as spiritual empaths, we're never going to be able to successfully stop the thoughts. And that's because, we will have times of moving in and experiencing the gap, being able to have that state of nothingness that comes with those higher states of consciousness as we reach, through our meditation practice and as we become more skilled. The key here is to understand, is to slow down the thoughts, because when we as spiritual empaths and mediums go into meditation, we become available. We become available for clarity, for channeling, for conversation, for insight, for guidance. We can't switch off our thoughts, but we can train ourselves to slow them down. We find that through our breath. We find it from the ability to stay as close to stillness as what we possibly can. And again, this is where it is essential in helping, again, to alleviate some of the overwhelm, the cluttering, the overthinking, the everything that could be going on through these energies for you as well. So it as well, not only meditation, but if ever there was a time for you to get into the daily expansion, if you're not doing the daily expansion meditation, oh my gosh, I'm going to invite you to do it. It's how, as I always say, it's how I get my happy on. It's how I can be able to clear through all of the clutter, of the energetic clutter of the collective. It's how I'm able to boost and find my center and begin to regulate not only my nervous system, but of course to be able to regulate the connections, the incoming guidance, the direction that is always seeking us as we sit down and we take time to slow down, to listen, and to be within ourselves. And more importantly, as I said, this energy helping all of us to be more of who we are, more of who we are. And again, clearing out the old, healing the wounds, the hurts, the past experiences, etc. But truly in what is the grace and the liberation and freedom of being able to be more empowered, more aligned, and allowing for more light to flow through us, and more light, of course, on the planet itself. So take care of you over this next few days. There's lots going on. You probably felt the shift as we moved out of some of that more emotional energy that we were in playing with, and we've moved more into, of course, the air, the movement, the flow. So much begins to move forward here, sweet mediums. And so, if again, I know from so many conversations that I've had with many of you, and in the work that with my clientele over this last month, it's been hard. We've all been feeling it. Our empathic aspect is feeling overwhelmed and perhaps even feeling hopeless. But here again, in this energy, as we embark into this final week of May, we're coming into the energy of hope. We're coming into the energy of newness and freshness, like fresh air and opportunity for us to really move past what we've done, and assimilating some of that darker energy that have been playing, and being able to really move into more power, more light, and more authority. And I'm telling you, our world needs it more than ever. All right, so thank you for tuning in to this part of our conversation. Let me just take a moment here to wish you well, God bless, and until next week.